All right. Okay. All right. So when you first go to the web version, you should see a screen like this, Autodesk BIM 360. You go to sign in with your Autodesk account, the same account that you used when you sign into Autodesk desktop app. Can everybody put yourself on mute? Because I'm getting a lot of feedback. And then you use your regular password. And you sign in. So it'll remember the last project that you were in, and you can have these little drop downs up here at the top, and it'll show you all the projects that you're available to. So I'm just going to, let's use a small one. Let's just go Santa Rosa Seebach is fine. And this is the web-based version. And what you'll see is these 9 little dots, and I'm in document management right now. You may or may not see some of these, like you won't see account management, you won't see project management or admin, account admin and project admin. You'll see document management and design collaboration or project home. And if I click on project home, if the project was entered with an address and stuff, you should see, you know, the project, the location, what the weather is, and some other project issues, design packages, all that stuff, if it's been uploaded to that particular project. You click on the 9 little buttons, you go to document management, and it looks like a kind of like a project directory. Project files, you'll see there's central files, linked CAD, and linked models. Those were the 3 subfolders that we had created when we created these particular projects. Obviously, when we upload our model, we're uploading it to the central file model. And then we put all of our links in the links model. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. When I'm in Revit and I browse to my Santa Rosa Seebach and I click on that link, I see those same folders, project files, okay? And then I'm trying to open a Revit file that I can work on. And if I go to central files, I'll see my Santa Rosa Seebach. I'm going to back out of there and go into linked models, and I see a Santa Rosa interiors model that we have linked into our architectural model. That way we can keep things separate. But you'll notice in this linked model, there's nothing else in this folder that I can open through Revit. And the reason why is because those are the only 2 models that we uploaded through Revit to work in the cloud. Now I'm going to take a step back here, and of course I can't see my minimize. There we go. Go back to the project environment. If I go to linked models, you'll notice that I have a structural, a plumbing, a mechanical, and electrical model that are in the cloud and are ready for me to get linked into my model, but I can't open those through Revit. And the reason why is because these 4 models were consultant models that we got through Newforma or ShareFile or whatever. They sent them to us. And then all I did was I opened up a Windows file browser, browsed to my project where those files existed, and I just dragged and dropped them into this window, and it uploaded those files to the cloud. So what does that mean? Now you'll have to be patient with me here because this Santa Rosa, oh, I didn't want to open that one, darn it. Give me a second. And okay. I opened the wrong file. I apologize. See if I can cancel it. Just bear with me. So you may or may not see this transferring files, BIM 360. And what that is that's the desktop connector that either Jigno or myself kind of ran around and installed on people's computers. And that allows us to link those drag and drop consultant models that that we uploaded to the cloud. So this takes just a little while, but it takes longer than it would if we were at the office, but it gives us the capability of working on any of these files anywhere. So take Joe, for example. Joe can be in New Jersey with his laptop at a Starbucks, and I always say Starbucks. I don't even know if he likes coffee. And he can go to anywhere that has Wi-Fi, a hotel, or any place, and open up his Revit model from the cloud. So what's happening in the background is it accesses the web or the cloud. It downloads the files like you're seeing on my screen right now. It downloads them, and I'm going to close this one because I wanted to get into the central file. So 1 second. All right, it downloads all of those files locally to your C drive, and then essentially you're working on all of these Revit files like it's a local. It's all on your C drive. And then what it does is any change that you do, so let's say you do 5 changes, it recognizes only those 5 changes, and it will upload those back to the cloud when you resynchronize back to the cloud. The desktop connector works almost like a OneDrive, where it has a location on your C drive where it downloads those linked files. So if we do all of your unit links or consultant models or anything like that, it uses a location with desktop connector on your C drive somewhere, and it downloads all those files and then links those to your local model. So it's not trying to have that constant connection up to the cloud and you're sitting there waiting or there's delay or anything like that. So that's how this is all being able to be done in the background, and then you're able to work on your Revit file like it's on your C drive, because it is on your C drive. And then when you synchronize, it just synchronizes those changes. So I'm just kind of talking right now while it's downloading my Santa Rosa CBOC. So then what I'm going to show you is when I initially opened up Revit, you saw I could only see the 2 files. I could only see the main architectural and the interiors file that we uploaded to the cloud via Revit. When I go to my links, or if I want to link a new file, I'm going to show you that where I can and cannot see those linked files that I dragged and dropped through the web browser of all my consultant files. Give it just another second here. If anybody has any questions to this point, just unmute and ask them, and I can try to answer. We're complete here.
Todd,
okay,
this is Erin.
Yeah.
So for Lantern Hill, I sent you all the files, but I also need to point you to where it sounds like the units are, as well as any consultant links. That was the part I didn't realize.
Yes, all of those have to be uploaded as well. And
okay.
Now that you have that central model up there, you can help me do some of this, because you'll be cool. Then you'll learn how to do some of this.
Okay,
so
great.
I'm just gonna do some hiding here, and then we'll kind of show what's going on here. 1 second, just clean this up a little bit so everybody can see. Okay, so here's my Santa Rosa model, and if I go to my links, you'll see that I have the electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and structural all linked in here, and my interiors. If, let's say by chance, I was just wanting to initially load this interiors model, and I'm going to use reload from now, but you would, add it, or you would, link Revit models, excuse me. But when you initially try to link, you'll see that there is this cloud. And by default, it takes you to this cloud. And when you go to these project files and your linked models, you will see that, once again, I can only see the model that was uploaded via Revit previously. And that's the model that, you know, hypothetical right now, I was trying to link. I'd click on that, I'd say open, and then it would link that like you were linking something within the office. Now, I'm going to cancel out of that. If you were doing something with the consultant models, if you remember, I dragged and dropped those up into the web environment. You have to do that in a different way. So I'm going to, once again, hypothetically, it's like I'm linking this for the first time. And you notice that when I was in this cloud, by default, and I went to project files, I couldn't see it. So how do I get to it? Okay. Somebody's not on mute again, so you might just check, make sure you're on mute. So what you got to do is you have to browse to your computer. And if you have Desktop Connector connected, you'll see this BIM 360 right here. When you click on that, or double click on that, you'll see our Lantz-Boggio Architects project environment. You double click on that, you'll see all of the projects that you can access, that you have permissions to access. So take a step back. What I did, if you noticed, I have this Lantz-Boggio. What I did is I dragged and dropped this from here over to here. That way I could real quickly, when I go to this, so once again, I click on this, I'm loading it for the first time, or I'm reloading it. Because I dragged and dropped that, I can now click on that and it takes me to my project environment. Okay, so now when I go to Santa Rosa CBOC, project files, linked models, you'll see here are all those drag and drop models that I uploaded. Now I can click on my electrical or whatever file I'm trying to link. Somebody's not muted. I can hear you breathing. Kind of creepy. I'm just joking. Anyways, click on electrical. I would say okay, and then electrical gets linked in here. So that's how the two different linking methods are occurred. You have to think about, was the file uploaded via Revit to the cloud? So those are going to be typically files that you need to work on. In our scenario recently, what we've been uploading, any unit links and stuff like that, we've just been dragging and dropping those into the web browser environment, so you can just link them. If in theory that you needed to make an edit to one of those files, you would need to download that file or access that file elsewhere, manipulate it, and then re-drag and drop it back into that project environment. So what I'm getting at is these versionings right here. So right now we have two different versions that have been uploaded to Structural because we got an update and they made changes. We got their file, we dragged and dropped it in here. It then said, hey, this is version 2. If by chance these are your units, let's say it's your linked units, and we have dragged and dropped all these up here for you to link them, and you manipulated unit A or something like that locally on you got it from the server, you got it elsewhere, you manipulated it, you saved it to your desktop or your C drive somewhere, you could then drag and drop that file into this environment. It would then update unit A from version 1 to version 2, and then go back into your central model, reload latest or reload that link, and your changes will be reflected. What I'm getting at is you're basically working on that file separate from the cloud, because I just didn't want to have to open up 20 unit links and upload them to the cloud via Revit every single time. It would have taken us forever to do that with all the projects that we're trying to upload. So this desktop connector gives us a quicker way to try to get things in there. So Aaron, in the case of your point, so let me go to your project, Lantern Hill, and let me find it, 2.1. And central files, you'll see that I've uploaded Lantern Hill 2.1. It's up there, but there's nothing linked into it. It doesn't know where all the links are. and I don't have any linked models in there. If I had your units on my C drive right now in a Windows, I could just grab all those units, drag them into this environment, it would upload them, and they would then live in the cloud for you to link back to your central model. So that would mean you have to go into every single one of your links and repath it via that BIM 360 route that I just showed, is how that will work. And that's where you can help me out with, because what you'll notice is like Fountain Valley, I did this one last night. By the way, for Fountain Valley, I think it's Julie, maybe Nancy. I upgraded this to Revit 20 because Revit 2017, we can't even get the plug-in for BIM 360 or collaboration for Revit for 2017 anymore. So I upgraded this to 20. You'll open this particular file, and then you'll notice that here are all the links that I uploaded version 1, and all of those I think have to get repathed. I don't remember if I repathed all of them, but they have been uploaded. They're ready for you to repath via the BIM 360 route. Is everybody okay so far?
Todd, yeah, I think so. This is Erin. So that the desktop connector, is that something that everyone should have on their computer already, or do we need to download it?
Everybody should have it. You may or may not have it because you were out all last week and, remoting into your machine. So you might not have it. I'm not sure if you can see this down at the bottom. There's a little white A, and when you hover over it, it says Autodesk Desktop Connector. I'm not sure if you have that or not.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Okay, so what you're going to do is, let's see, what's the best way I can get that to you? I will send you a new Forma link to download that because we have it on our network. I will log into my machine and send you the install file for that. And then you'll just have to run that install, and then it'll run in the background. It probably will ask you to reboot, so make sure everything's closed down, run the install. You'll have to reboot, and then after you reboot, it should ask you to sign in. So if you right click on this, you'll see that I'm already signed in, and if you're not signed in, you won't be able to use it as a linking mechanism. So
okay, thanks.
So back to Revit. Once you've downloaded your stuff from the cloud, you are working on it like any other Revit file. You can move stuff, manipulate, edit, all of that stuff. Just an FYI, Workshare Monitor does not work with BIM 360. You can't use Workshare Monitor, you can't see. But what you will notice is at the bottom down here, there's a little available to sync. It's down here by the editing requests. And if this thing has a kind of a red circle around it, it means someone is synchronizing at the moment. So just hang loose. So before you hit synchronize, just take a real quick look down here, see if you're available to sync, and you can then synchronize back to the cloud. That's pretty much it, guys. Go ahead.
Just a quick question. If we are working in the office, is there a difference for how we access any of this information?
Nope, it's the same way. If you're in the office or away from the office, you will browse to your project via the side over here, and you just click on that link. It takes you to the project folders. You go to project files, you go to central file, and you click on that link right there. It will download all the necessary files. Like I said, the first time you do it, it might take a little bit longer because you don't have any of those files on your C drive. But once it's there, it's really easy just to start working, and everything's normal, no matter if you're in the office or out of the office.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, but I'd like to.
Oh, go for it.
Go ahead, Hirsch.
God, I'm not able to see any of the Lantern Hill stuff in my folders.
So let's take a real quick look at, let's go to Lantern Hill. And let me just check something really quick. Project admin. We actually go back to document management, sorry. And let's just check permissions. And the reason why you can't see anything, Hirsch, is because you're not on this permissions folder. So we will add you to the permissions folder. So typically and this is more for project admin people. So right now, these 4 people that you're seeing on the Lantern Hill have project admin rights to the Lantern Hill BIM 360 environment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Lantz-Boggio. Actually, I just got to add. Let's do company Lantz-Boggio. Yeah, it's not showing me the company. Did I hit the wrong one? Companies. It should just be Lantz-Boggio. There we go. So when I add that, and then give a 1 second. Let me finish this because this all pertains to project admins. So what I did is I added the company. I gave them permission to view, download, upload, and edit. Yeah, not full control, just view, download, upload, and edit. And then I say add. So now anybody that has a Lantz-Boggio email address has permission to the project files, which gives you central files, linked CAD, and linked models. So Hirsch, you should now, if you've been invited to this project environment, hold on, account admin, which I do believe you should have been invited to. Let's look at Lantern Hill. I'm missing it. Here we go. Lantern Hill 2.1. And Hirsch, yeah, you've been invited to that. You're active in that project environment, and you have document management and design collaboration capabilities. So you may have to close Revit and reopen it, but once you open it, you should then see permissions to at least 2.1. I haven't done the other projects yet to give you permissions.
Sorry, yeah, I'm on now. I can see it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Tuan, do you have a similar question?
Yes, I have the same issue like her, so I didn't see anything in my folder.
Can you see 2.1 now?
No, both of them I didn't see anything. So.
Okay. 1 second. You may have to close Revit and reopen it.
2.1 now I can see.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I may have to do this with a bunch of these project environments because I neglected to tell Jigna how to do this step. So the only people that have access to these folders are project admins. So that's on me. But I can add a couple of add the company and give them view upload and say add. So now anybody with a Lantz-Boggio email address will have access that are invited to this project environment will have access to Lantern Hill 2.2. So I'll have to do this for a bunch of other ones and we'll get everybody up and running. So once again, two environments, Revit environment, web environment. accessing your Revit files through Revit, you will only see the files that were uploaded through Revit to be manipulated with Revit to the cloud. Everything else is a drag and drop through the web browser for all your links and consultant links. Was there somebody who was about to ask a question? No more questions? I think that's all I have. Go ahead.
Max.
Yep.
I think I will have to I don't want to waste the time of everybody here. I think I have to talk with you or Jigna or Aaron later. I need some kind of Revit, the BIM 360 101. I really don't know from where begin. Actually, I have the files in my computer. I'm working on these files in my computer. I have no idea how to access the format, how to access anything of this. So I think it would be better if we talk later.
Gotcha. And maybe I just do a one-on-one, or Aaron and Jigna, if you want to be on there as well. We do a real quick go-to session with you, Max, and that way you can share your screen, or I'll share my screen, or both, back and forth. That way we can see what's going on. I know in your case, I do believe you have all of your files locally that you had copied from the network. And if you've been working on those files, we will need to upload those files from your computer, your C drive, to the cloud, so it lives up in the cloud. Because right now we didn't want to upload a Fox Run or a Tallgrass that still lived on the network if you've been editing those files locally at your computer for the last day or over the weekend or something like that. Once we get Tallgrass and Fox Run permissions all set up here in the web-based version of this, you should see that link over off to your side when you're in Revit. So once again, in Revit, when you see your splash page, you should see your project environment over here on that left-hand side. And once again, we'll do a separate go-to meeting, try to get you set up. I know you're kind of a little bit of a unique situation because you took all those files home and they're living on your C drive. So we're probably going to have you either send those files back to us via new format, or I'll have to walk you through uploading those files to the right location to the cloud. But we can do that later today. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Again.
Yep, go ahead.
Hi, it's Nancy again. So, so you're saying that we actually only have access to the projects that we've been invited to?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, I probably need to get you guys a list of all of the stuff that I probably need to access.
Got it. Yeah, I think, and Jigna, jump on and correct me if I'm wrong, but Julie just gave us maybe 3 projects, I think, maybe 4, to upload to BIM 360, and those are the only projects that we've uploaded or tried to upload so far. So Nancy, those would be ones that I think that you've already been invited to, but we'll verify.
Yeah, I've just got 2.
Gotcha. Fountain Valley and let's see,
Bear Creek, Kensington.
Gotcha. So yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Todd, this is Erin. I can send you the links for the ID models for 2.1 and 2.2 because I didn't send those before.
Yeah, basically I should have access to all of it. I'm not working on Lantern Hill or Windsor Run, but except for Windsor Run 2.1, but should have access to all of the rest of the Erickson projects.
Got it. Because right now I think we have Fox Run, Tallgrass, Windsor Run, and Lantern Hill. Those are the 4 Erickson projects I think we have up in the cloud.
And we need to do Green Spring as well.
Gotcha. Green Spring, yeah, I think we updated that to 2020, so we should be able to upload that if there are no issues with the file. So
I can actually send you a list quickly because there's other projects that are not Ericsson based. You know, we've got Eastern Star and Mirasol and some of those others.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we were initially just trying to get up into the cloud the projects that were kind of active doing CDs right now because we had obviously a bunch of production Revit users that were taking their computers home and stuff that needed to get that up and running so they could start working because they weren't coming into the office. And so yes, if you can get us that list, we will have to identify and get those uploaded. Just an FYI, because I've been experiencing this over the last day now, and so has Jigna. If the model is a train wreck and you can't open it and audit it, it cannot be uploaded to BIM 360. BIM 360 will not take the file. And we've tried on a couple projects where we can't get them up and running. So we're having to do some troubleshooting and investigating and going back to archived files to identify what is the issue. So we may have a different issue with those, and we might have to come up with a different solution as how people work on those. It may be that it lives on one person's computer on their C drive, and they have to work on that one file. I don't know yet. We're still trying to resolve some of those things. That's what makes me worry about Greenspring, because if I can't audit that file, we may not be able to upload it to BIM 360, which could be problematic. So we'll have to, I'll have to check. I'll have to see if I can run an audit on that file and then see if we can upload it. It may be just fine. I just know that Greenspring in the past has been kind of a beast of a file. So.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And then for Greenspring, sorry, this is C. Nancy, is Jason McCannon still working on that file?
Yeah, and actually Monica and I have been having trouble getting into the central file. We've both had to, in order to access anything in Greenspring, we've had to detach it. We're getting this strange message that something that Jason has done to it, we just are unable to access it.
Yeah, because I know Natasha was trying to do it. There are two central files in the central file folder. Yeah, one is correct. Another one should be archived.
Okay.
Okay, I know Monica tried yesterday, and I don't remember. Monica, do you remember what the message was on that?
Yeah, so Jason was gonna archive one, and then the one that was labeled detached would become the new central.
Okay. I think we're done. If anybody has any more questions specific to specific projects, just maybe shoot an email to myself, Jigna, Aaron with an E, and Sue, and Julie as well, because we're all on the BIM committee, and we'll try to resolve as quickly as we can. Obviously, we can't address every single issue because we're trying to, some of us are trying to work remotely, and BIM 360 might not play nice with files that are missing elements or have corrupted data in them that can't be audited, those kind of things. But the ones that we have uploaded, we've been successful. And if you have any issues like permissions or anything like that, please email us, and then we'll get that fixed as quickly as possible. Aaron, I have it on my to-do list to give you desktop connector, get that installed, and then anybody else. Oh, Max will set up a go-to meeting shortly after this and try to do, it's going to be very similar to this session. It's It's really not that hard. It's once it's set up, I mean, once you have access, you should see those files off to your left-hand side. You got to make sure that you're signed in. I guess that was something that I didn't mention. You have to be signed in at the top of your Revit up here with your Autodesk account. If you are not signed in, you will not see these folders over here because Revit doesn't know, it doesn't give you access because it doesn't see that you're signed in. So you got to be signed in efforts to be seeing your permissioned or projects that you're invited to. So that being said, if nobody has any more questions, I think we are done. And I will see how this file recorded and then try to get it uploaded to our YouTube, and then you can go back and watch it if you have time. Everybody good? All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.